All right, we're following Dad to a job site, and I just thought I would catch a little bit of this as I'm thinking and following him and realizing that if we were Amish, uh, him working until he's 80 years old, he's just turned 80 and he's still going at it. He's still doing this, whatever he can do. And if we were Amish, this wouldn't be anything, because everything the Amish do involves work, and that's just their lifestyle as far as I know. I don't know a whole lot about the Amish, but I know they do everything by hand, working. And when I was growing up, I always wanted to work with my dad. And so when I got to about 17 or 18, maybe, I think I was 19. I might have been 19 when I started investigating the kind of work that my dad does, because he didn't raise me, so I didn't really get a chance to know him until I was about 19. I started hanging out with him and riding with him and going to different job sites, and now I'm almost 50 years old, and my perspective is changing. About his work habits. And I see two sides to this lifestyle of working. I guess the blessing is that Dad he has a lot of knowledge about a lot of things. Mainly excavating. That's where his family, I guess, was rooted in. My dad's dad, my grandpa, did his own excavating business. It was called Miller's Excavating, and I don't know a whole lot about that. I just know that he did that, and he's continuing in this kind of work. And yeah, it's really hard to talk about, because I've seen my dad do so many different things, and now that he's slowing down a little bit, he can't keep up with everything that he would like to. And it's changing my perspective on this kind of lifestyle of working. It's not a bad thing. It just has its, I don't even know what the word is for it. A lot of it is stubbornness. And a lot of it is having a drive, having the desire. His desire is what drives him. And I guess that's what fascinates me about my dad, is along with his stubbornness, he has a unique drive that for a long time I interpreted that as faith. I thought that he had a lot of faith which he does. I mean, you can't do what he's doing without doing it by faith. Although he may not call it faith, he may just say that it just needs done, so we're just going to do it. That's what you do when you work. You just see something that needs to be done and you do it. And that's kind of what I'm learning about God. Since God's always at work, and we rarely can see it. We don't see it until we see a newborn child, or the sunrise, or the sunset, or the stars at night, or a thunderstorm. You know, those are things that become visible to us as God's work. At least for me, that's how I see it. I see those things as God's work, because those are things that we can't do by our own work. And so the other thing is that with God being always at work, and His will always will be done. Okay? It doesn't matter what we do. We can be as stubborn as we want, but God is still going to fulfill His work in us and around us. And watching Dad continue on, you know, in a situation that looks impossible to me, does not look impossible to him. That's our perspective. And so with God, all things are possible, even if it looks impossible on the outside to us. But there's a desire that God has on the inside that we can't see. He has grace and mercy for us if we can be patient, be diligent, be hopeful, and always believing that what He's doing is for our good. And that's really hard to have that perspective sometimes. As we can see here in living color, some people are just driven, and we don't know what it is for, but God does. God knows, because God puts that desire in us. And if God puts the desire in us, then it'll be done according to God's plan. So that's where my hope is today, is with God, and knowing that God is with us. I'm still hopeful, and I'm doing things by faith, because I don't understand a lot of things. So I'm going to get off here. We just made it to the job site, or nearly to the job site. That's it. We're going to see what needs to be done here, and you guys have a good weekend.